Good morning. So the question is, so if the Chorban was in order for there to be a Bayis Shlishi, we should get to the ultimate tachlis, then why do we cry? Why isn't it a simcha? We should all be dancing. So which one is it? Is it a simcha or is it a Chorban? Because technically speaking, if not for the Chorban, and Shlomo Melech already saw that there's going to be a Chorban, David Melech saw there's going to be a Chorban, and Shlomo Melech still celebrated the building of the Beis HaMikdash for months, to the point where they didn't even observe the Yom Kippur. They were eating Yom Kippur because it was the ultimate shleimus. But yet he told them to hide. He created a space to hide the Aron. In the Bayis Shani, in the last 30 years of the Bayis Rishon, there was no Aron. So the question is, which one is it? It's a little confusing. In the 9 days, is it a time that I'm going to be going into my Eicha, I'm going into my Badad? Or is it a time of true, which is, if I'm going into Badad, I'm going into my Pnimis, then it's technically a celebration. So the what is as follows. One of the first Navias that Yirmiyah Navi received from the Eibishter is the Eibishter is telling him, I took you guys in the Midbar, I took you out of Mitzrayim, took you in the Midbar. You were walking there for 40 years in a place where completely desolated, there's nothing there. Be'eretz Tzia v'tzalmavas, be'eretz le'over ba'ish, v'l'yashav adam sham, v'l'esmat eretz ha'karmel. I took you guys out from a place that is completely, I took you out of Mitzrayim, and you walk through a place, 40 years, no food, nothing. So what are we talking about over here? The Midbar was a place that was absolute for each person to find the essence, because we were living from a place of Dvar Havaya. There was no lechem, there was man, which was a something that fell out of the sky every morning. Imagine you wake up in the morning, living in your palace over there, you open up the door and there's food by the door. There is a bag of golden erendlich, a sack of money sitting in front of your door, and it's ready to eat. You don't need to change it, you don't need to deposit, it's exactly what you need. You receive from that place, we receive the highest knowledge, the highest content of consciousness we received every day. Tzaddikim by the door, the Beinani had to walk a few feet, okay. And the Rasha, whatever that meant, the lowest level, he had to go look for it. But Imkal Zeh, he had nothing better to do anyways. So the Midbar was a place which was absolute in our language, squeezed us into the ultimate Archezer. We found the place, the Be'er Shemirim, we already said that a couple of weeks ago. The Be'er Shemirim was a consciousness. It wasn't like Smitamol. It says in the Torah, all of a sudden they found themselves that they were thirsty. They were like, "Where's the water? We're gonna die. We need water." What does that mean? Because it was the Be'er Shemirim was something that they were able to tap into through their Torah and through their knowledge. It didn't need physical water. Yes, it manifested in physical water, but they were able to just get into themselves and just get water, have food, whatever they needed. So from one second to the other, Miriam moved on, Miriam passed away, so they found that consciousness wasn't there anymore. So they were just like, they woke up from a dream. They found themselves completely like, we're in a desert, we have nothing. And it wasn't a sign, it was a level of Archezer that we were supposed to, even from that place, now that we were trained, we were supposed to see no water and yet dive into a level of Amunah. But from there, instead, we were so lost, we were so untrained that Vayachaz Asela, we ended up in a place where we had to hit the rock. Right, we lost. We got so overwhelmed that Moshe Rabbeinu had to hit the rock. He couldn't even talk to it. Whatever that is, it's a whole different shmiz that we can get into. So the Vart is Azor. So what happened over there? So there's two sides over here. There's two parts. Yes, the Chorban was for us to get into a place, to a deeper place, to my Badat Yeshev, to a place of Kodesh Kodeshim, to my place of finding Tainig Atzmi in our language means that I have no judgments. I don't need anything to justify. I just am. I'm using all my pain and all my shortcomings, my anxiety. I use all that for me to. This is just pushing me. It's like a ping pong. It keeps hitting me, and every time I get hit, every time I get zapped, I don't get into it. I get deeper within myself. In other words, all my occurrences, everything that happens to me, my Chorban wants me to get caught up into it. I start spinning within it. I'm trying to dissect and figure out the unraveling rather than what's unraveled. I'm looking at the event rather than the outcome of the event, because this is what the Chorban wants me to do. That's why it's a Chorban. The Chorban is the magician having one live and the one dead hand, and I busy myself with a dead hand. I get into that and I start asking questions, when really all that is pushing me, is only here to push me into the spiral, to get to the eye of the storm, not to get caught up in the storm. Because in the storm, if I stick my head out in the storm, God forbid, it's too strong, it's too fast, it's not meant for that. We're not built for that. But rather I'm supposed to go with the flow and get into the eye of the storm. And this is what the Chorban was, where Shechina did not recognize it, caught us completely off guard. This is where it was. Timasa b'shulei u'lo achrisa. Her clothes was not clean, was unclean. Didn't recognize it at the end, and then Vateret Peloim. Shechina was in awe, was in shock. Well, like, what? Chorban is HaMikdash? We're talking about bursting the ultimate bubble that we lived in a consciousness that was untouchable. Fire from Shemayim, Urim V'Tumim, and talking. People were in the Vias state zone. Re'eh Hashem es ani kehigdil oev. Shechina is like, whoa, look at our enemy, because our enemy is too big. Where did this happen? We found ourselves in a midbar without any water, and there was no way of climbing out. We had no tools, because we were so deep away from far away, because we had to get to such a place. The only way out from that spin, to get back into the eye of the storm, was a complete Chorban. That had to be ground zero. That was the only thing. So when I'm crying, when we are crying for the Chorban, we're crying for the part of us that is stuck in it, that needs rationalization, needs to understand, and how deep am I into trying to figure out my Chachma as to what's happening, making sense, trying to make sense of current events, trying to make sense of my life. Why is it not going? Why is it so hard and bitter, and it's already going for generational, hereditary, and I'm bringing on all types of stuff from my father and my grandfather. Then there is a Chorban, there's something to cry about, and that's what we're crying for, because we are really living in that consciousness. We're really that far removed from it. But we know already this year is a powerful year. It's Tafshin Pei Aleph, Plus Enu, which is, we are getting into a place of my panimi. I'm able, like now that we're in ground zero, I already figured out that there is no solution. I already figured out that the whole system that's set up, the whole system was set up to solve a problem that to begin with is an illusion. It's not there for me to solve. I've been distracted. I've been pulled into Mitzrayim. I've been completely misdirected. I'm looking left, and we built a whole world based on my lesson that I'm supposed to learn to go into my right, to go into my Nefesh Elikis, to go into my Bada Yeshev. To heal my Shechina, to heal my imagination, to heal my little child. So I'm crying from that, and then my tears are also from a place where I can't handle anymore, because the simcha is like, oh, I can't believe this. Are you serious? This is what's going on over here. This is what's happening over here. There is a Chorban for me. I'm starting to see the eye of the storm. There's a Chorban here so I can find myself ground zero. None of that is relevant. None of that is real. The whole thing is just an illusion. It's not real. So this is the tears, and we have both. We have the tears of sadness, but then it quickly switches over to tears of simcha. And yes, it's such a level, it's so deep, it's such an orchezer that I have to go in and I'm fasting, because when we walk into Kodesh Kodeshim when there's no food, we don't even go to the mikveh. It's above everything. Don't think it's that I can prepare my body to go into such a day. It's like a Yom Kippur. There's no way I can prepare beforehand, but the day of, this is it. I'm in it. And I have to process. This is the only way to do this, istaka, by not eating, to get into the piyavaya. Not to have an illusion that I'm living from the food that I eat. I'm not living from the money that I'm working, from the hard work that I put in. That's not what this is about. I'm living from piyavaya, and this is what we get to experience for the first time. We introduce our guf, our body, that he also understands. Because now that we took such beatings already, that I already know that no matter what I do, I see that I can do a deal, the same deal I do today, tomorrow, it goes completely opposite. The same person that I trusted yesterday, today he's a completely different person. Right? He saw something and now he's not being the way he's supposed to. So I'm already aware, I understand that it's nothing to do. I understand that everything is piyavaya, and the only place I can find that is in my squeeze. Then I'll find the place of salvation. And from that little nakuda, that's all I need. I need the dat. I'm looking for that. It's tachas apshitas. Our shechina, we're not talking there about big flexing, big palaces and all that. That's not where it's at. It's in the purest. And from there I can start building a true binyan, a binyan shalish. An easy fast, everybody, and a mindful one. And a happy one. All right.